Why is it that there is always a difference of opinion and there is always a tussle between the Lieutenant Governor in Delhi and the elected government of NCT of Delhi? But now what is the issue? The key issue relating to this ordinance at present. Services. What do you mean by services? Services is appointment of officers to various posts. See, guys, and before we understand what is the issue surrounding this in detail a bit, this is the triple chain of accountability that the Supreme Court said in its order in May 2023, which is a very important thing. So now what has this ordinance done? They have formed a National Capital Civil Service Authority. And who are the members of this, guys? This ordinance, loopholes, whether there can be any further checks and balance on this ordinance, what should be the power of the center, how much should be given to Delhi government, these things you can debate based on your ideas, based on your opinions, based on political leanings. People can debate it, till the cows come home. It can be an endless debate. Hi friends, welcome. In the last couple of months, many of you would have seen the Chief Minister of Delhi, Shri Arvind Kejriwal, going and meeting chief ministers of various opposition ruled states like West Bengal, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, seeking support against an ordinance promulgated by the central government. In fact, that ordinance is going to be replaced as a bill in the forthcoming monsoon session of the Parliament. So why is it that there is always a difference of opinion and there is always a tussle between the Lieutenant Governor in Delhi and the elected government of NCT of Delhi? See, there are definitely political reasons behind it, but we will look at it from a constitutional and legal angle in this video. So just to give you a historical background, the National Capital Territory of Delhi, Delhi was a union territory, is a union territory even today, and in 1991 it was renamed as the National Capital Territory of Delhi through a constitutional amendment, and it also got a legislative assembly consisting of 70 members, and whoever forms the majority in that will form the government of NCT of Delhi. But the constitution says the Delhi assembly, right, and the Delhi government will not have powers over three subjects which are otherwise in the state list. See, public order is nothing but law and order, police is policing, and land is agriculture and other forms of land, right? So these three subjects come under the powers of the states, be it Tamil Nadu, Andhra, UP, Bihar. The state government will have control over police, the state government will have control over its law and order, and the state government will have control over its land, be it legislative for making laws or executive for taking various decisions and implementing those laws. But Delhi, being the national capital, it is not just for the people of Delhi. Of course, it is primarily for the people of Delhi, but it is a national capital for all the citizens of the country. And the president sits there, the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the Parliament of India is there, the Supreme Court sits in Delhi, all the embassies of foreign countries are housed in Chanakyapuri and Southwest Delhi region in Delhi, all the central government agencies work out of Delhi. So it is meant for the whole of the country, and considering that reason, public order, police and land have been kept out of the purview of the Legislative Assembly of Delhi. And there is a Lieutenant Governor, just like other states have governors. For a union territory, they are called as an administrator, and in case of Delhi, it is called as, he or she is called as the Lieutenant Governor, who is appointed by the center, right? So this is the background. But now what is the issue? The key issue relating to this ordinance at present. Services. What do you mean by services? Services is appointment of officers to various posts. See, public order, police and land is not with the Delhi Legislative Assembly and Delhi government, but you have health services which is provided by the Delhi government. You have education services which is provided by the Delhi government to its people in the National Capital Territory. You have transport services which are provided by the Delhi government. You have PDS, ration, which is provided by the Delhi government. So all the jobs that a state does, the government of Delhi also does, except public order, police and land. And services primarily deals with appointment of officials for carrying out these various services, which is under entry 41 of the state list. So all states have control over these appointment of officers and taking decisions with respect to these services. But now this is where the issue comes between Delhi government and the Lieutenant Governor. There have been previous cases also, in 2016, the Delhi High Court ruled that LG is the real head. Then in 2018, the Supreme Court ruled, no, the elected government is the real head of Delhi. For that, there was an amendment which was brought in the year 2021 to the NCT of Delhi Act. But what is the sticky point now? In May 2023, a constitution bench of the Supreme Court said the Delhi government has powers over services, which means appointment of officers, transfer of officers, postings, and all other matters relating to all the subjects except public order, police, and land should be with the elected council of ministers and the Delhi government. So this was seen as a strengthening verdict by the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi, which felt, yes, we have been elected by the people, and so we should have the power to take care of all these services. But the Supreme Court judgment also said it is subject to any law made by Parliament. See, because for union territories, Parliament can make a law on any matter, including what is in the domain of the states otherwise. So whatever is in the power of the states, for example, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, or UP, Union Parliament cannot make laws on those subjects when it is a full-fledged state. But if it is a union territory, the Parliament can legislate even on the state list if situation demands. So what did the centre do? It said, no, Delhi is a national capital. It has embassies. It has all the top officials of the country sitting there, and foreign dignitaries visited. So considering all these factors and considering that the Supreme Court said it is subject to the overall law, if any, made by Parliament, we are now promulgating an ordinance to bring the services under LG. Right? So now this takes the power back to the LG when compared to the elected government. Guys, and before we understand what is the issue surrounding this in detail a bit, this is the triple chain of accountability that the Supreme Court said in its order in May 2023, which is a very important thing. Officials, which means various officers who are in charge of services, they are accountable to the ministers. The ministers form the political executive. The officials form the permanent executive or the bureaucracy. And the bureaucracy should be accountable to the ministers. The ministers, in turn, are accountable to the legislature, which consists of MLAs. That is the essence of a parliamentary democracy. And the MLAs are in turn accountable to the people, because they will have to go and see courts every 5 years, and only if they get a majority and are elected, they can form the government. So this is the triple chain of command, and they said this should not be broken at any point of time. Because if you give the services to LG, which is bureaucracy, then it breaks this chain of command, this chain of accountability, where officials accountable to the executive, which is the ministers, ministers accountable to the legislators, who are the MLAs, and MLAs accountable ultimately to the people, because in a democratic country, people are supreme. So now what has this ordinance done? They have formed a National Capital Civil Service Authority. And who are the members of this, guys? The Chief Minister of Delhi, the Chief Secretary of Delhi, who is appointed by the central government, and the Home Secretary of Delhi, who is again appointed by the central government. So 3 members, and very interestingly, the stated objective of this ordinance is to balance democratic and administrative angles. So elected Chief Minister is democracy. Officials is administration or bureaucracy. To balance democracy and administration in the national capital, this authority has been formed. But it consists of 1 elected CM, 2 appointed secretaries, and the decisions are to be taken by a majority vote, which means the 2 secretaries, Chief Secretary and Home Secretary of the Delhi government, who are appointed by the central government, can overrule the elected Chief Minister of Delhi. I mean, it does tilt the balance more in favor of administration, central government, than the elected government at the state. And not just there. After a decision has been communicated by this civil service authority to the Lieutenant Governor, If the Lieutenant Governor for some reason is not agreeable to that recommendation, then his decision shall be final. Now this is where the issue comes between the LG, who represents the centre, and the Chief Minister of Delhi, who represents the elected government of Delhi. So guys, this ordinance, loopholes, whether there can be any further checks and balance on this ordinance, what should be the power of the centre, how much should be given to Delhi government, these things you can debate based on your ideas, based on your opinions, based on political leanings. People can debate it, till the cows come home. It can be an endless debate. But what can be the real way forward to solve this issue? The NCT of Delhi is more than 1,450 square kilometers, right? It's like a huge city-state, so to speak, 1,500 square kilometers. But New Delhi, which is the capital of India, the official capital of India, which houses the Parliament House, the South Block, North Block, which is the government offices, the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the Supreme Court, various embassies, which is part of Chanakyapuri, which is Southwest Delhi, which is also very close to New Delhi, is roughly only around 45 to 50 square kilometers. I mean, I'm not a great expert in the topography of Delhi. It could be plus or minus 15, 20 or even 50 square kilometers. But within 100 to 150 square kilometers, the entire important offices and establishments of the central government will be covered. And one possible solution could be to carve this out as a union territory which is completely under the control of the central government and make the rest 1,200 or 1,300 square kilometers as a full-fledged state. Now this is what happens in US. The capital of US is Washington DC, Washington District of Columbia, right? And I think it is sandwiched between Maryland and Virginia. These are the two states. But what is this Washington DC? All of us would have heard of Washington, isn't it? It's such a famous place because it is the capital of US. But that is only 177 square kilometers. Now this is a federal district which is directly under the control of the federal government, like what we call in India as the union or the central government. In US it is called as the federal government. That area alone is under the direct control of the federal government. So a similar thing can be followed in India as well, where 50 or 100 or 150 square kilometers, let's say, which houses all the important offices and other things which should be under the control of the central government, because at the end of the day it is the national capital. It can be under the direct control of the central government, but the rest of the areas can be given full statehood, including powers of police, public order, land, because if there is some law and order problem in Delhi, people immediately will go to their MLA, isn't it? People will immediately question the CM of Delhi. What are you doing about this? He cannot quote Article 233A of the Constitution and the Supreme Court judgments and tell people, no, this comes under the Home Ministry, so you please go and ask them. That doesn't work in real life. So this could be a possible solution. And guys, this is not something which I have created because of my ingenuity. It is what all the parties have stood for at various points of time. In 2003, in fact, when it was the NDA government headed by Shri Vajpayee, there was a bill for converting Delhi into a state which was introduced in the year 2003, and of course with the dissolution of that Lok Sabha, the bill lapsed. No further action could be taken on that. In the 2014 Lok Sabha General Election Manifesto, Delhi-centric manifesto, the BJP had again said that we will get full statehood for Delhi if voted to power, both at the centre and at the union territory level. In 2015 Delhi elections, the Congress party officially stated in its manifesto that we will get full statehood for Delhi if voted to power. And the Aam Aadmi Party, which is the present ruling government for the last more than 8 years in Delhi, has always stood for statehood of Delhi. So this could be a possible solution which can ensure that there is no rift. The importance of national capital of New Delhi is maintained and the central government has complete control over that area, whereas the rest of the areas can be under the elected government of Delhi. Right, so I hope you found this video useful. From UPSC angle, what are the subjects which are not under the control of Delhi government or Delhi Assembly, police, public order and land? That is something which can be tested because it is in the news. Mains, this question has been asked twice. 2017, what are the reasons for the rift between the elected government and Lieutenant Governor? In 2018, whether the Supreme Court judgment will solve this rift was the question that was asked. Again, it is in the news. So quite possible that, it can again be asked in the mains, for which, what are the issues and what are the possible solutions that can be done, can be answered. So I hope you found this video useful. I'll see you again with another video soon. Thank you.